That's the sound of REM and Man on the Moon. It is 9:12 on your Wednesday morning.
All right, and today on the show, really happy to have with us Miss Alison Lim. She is the founder of Dementia Co. This is a non-profit and a safe space for the dementia community. Welcome, Alison.
Thank you.
Okay, Alison, before we get into Dementia Co, let's talk a little bit about you and help people understand why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Can you share with us what it was like when you first noticed something wasn't quite right that led to your diagnosis?
Actually, one thing that stands out for our whole family is when I was trying to get Guatemala in a Mexican restaurant. Three times I went in, and the waiter was like stared at me and walked away, and I said, "Hey, what?"
Yeah.
And my daughter said, "Oh, you mean guacamole?" And I said, "That's what I said."
Yeah.
So and then it became paparazzi and paparazzi and all kinds of. So it was
Started to
joke
jumble up on the words, right?
I came and go and for a few years until one morning I said to my husband, "Can you bring me my phone?" And he said, "Where's your phone?" Next to the phone. So on that day, the fridge, the table, everything became the phone, and that's when I.
So what you actually were diagnosed with was primary progressive aphasia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Leucopenic type, a specific type called leucopenic, which has, I have difficulty in retrieving words. The simplest word. So I always explain, like, I it's like walking into a very, very dark room, and your fingers are there, and you cannot see it, you cannot grasp it, you cannot feel it. And even the word clean, no way I can find the word.
Wow.
Yeah. And this happened some years back when you were in your early 50s, right?
Actually, late 50s.
Late
yeah.
50s.
Yeah.
Okay. So this must have come as quite a shock to the family, yourself included.
Yeah. I was like a hero. I've always been helping out with people with dementia, senior homes. I was at IMH when I was a kid. And so, I thought I was prepared. But the shock, you are right. It was such a huge shock. But the key shock that I had was when I turned to my daughter after the diagnosis outside the clinic, and I said, "Darling, just don't be ashamed of me and show me to the world, in whatever state I'm in." And I thought, okay, I have all these 15 things I have to do. And then I looked at her and held her, and she was frozen, completely frozen. And I thought, oh, shucks.
Yeah.
It's not about me. It's about her.
Yeah.
How is she going to live this life?
Yeah.
I want to cry. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how it all started. Then you and your daughter Jamie got together, and you started Dementia Co.
Yeah.
Yes.
What? Why? How did you realize there was this gap?
I went out there to look for more information for selfish reason, as to seek help and understand what I have and how to go about it. There was just no support out there, and I went to hospitals. I went to even overseas in US and UK and all that. And then I missed the word. I tried to find people with the same journey, and then I found out that so many people have far less knowledge than me, and so many neurologists. I saw 7 neurologists and geriatricians. And 4 of them Googled what I have in front of me.
Wow.
So the knowledge was so short. And fortunately for me, I met, especially in USA, the person who actually coined PPA.
Okay.
And then I went to the international conference and learned so much more. And I thought, okay, wow, we need to have groups ourselves and learn from each other. And I need to transfer this knowledge to so many people, because there's such a huge variety of dementia that people do not understand.
Okay, we're going to go on Facebook right now and continue this conversation with Alison, so join us right there.
Good times, greatest hits.
Okay, we're on Facebook now. So you said, okay, Dementia Co. is to fill this gap, right, in terms of peer support.
Yes.
Right, and giving them some purpose and meaning in their life, because it's not the end of the world when you get a diagnosis like dementia, especially when you're young, because the stats are staggering.
They are staggering.
About 30% of patients have something called YOD, which is young onset dementia. I think the youngest person being diagnosed here is 40 years old.
40 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what does Dementia Co do? What are the programs involved?
Let me just correct that, because the youngest person in Singapore I know of somebody who's 31 years old when he was diagnosed. And anyway, and in the world, the youngest person is 19 years old. He actually showed symptoms when he was 17. So why Dementia Co? What we want to do is get to the people who are just being diagnosed or have just been diagnosed. And because that's the time when there's a huge depression comes in, confusion, and if you don't know what the reason is, you get even physical pain, off balance, and so many other symptoms that people do not associate with dementia. Everybody thinks dementia is Alzheimer's, which is a memory issue. We have so many other issues. So those information need to go out to not just the person with dementia, but the family, because there are lots of miscommunication in the family. They do not understand what's happening with the person, and the person cannot explain it because we're in such confusion ourselves, right? And so much pain and so much anger, and so that's what we wanted to do, and that's what we did at first. We invite people home. We have cool discussions in a private setting. People feel safe to talk about what their experiences are. And the main thing is, I have the certification. I have the certificate to say I have dementia. I can explain what I went through. And the minute I do that, the care partners are like, oh, you mean what he experienced is real? I mean, because it comes on and off, and then sometimes he has it, sometimes he hasn't. So that already relaxes everybody. The person with dementia feels, okay, now I have somebody to speak for me. And now I can speak up. And that's the huge difference that we make in people's life. The family now can accept it and begin to find different ways of living a life. And yes, you said it's not the end of the world. To many people, it is. And also on the journey, I myself wanted to take my life. And many people do that. But when we have the group together, when things are explained to us, when we know what is happening in our brains and find different ways, now we can find what do we need in this world? How do we live from now on? And I'm so happy. I'm much healthier and in so many ways than before, because now we have the group support. We have people who understand and enjoy with us. There's so many things to enjoy in life. And you mentioned about the purpose. To me, the healing was having all these people change their life. And then to them is now they are meeting new people coming in, and people with dementia who are like not even speaking are able to express support and help to others, newcomers. And now we're going to hospitals. We go with a whole team to patients in hospital, create a great tea dance, and they feel so super because they are supporting the patients in the hospital. So
purpose is a big thing. Yeah.
Just to continue, doing what you do in your everyday life, right? And not losing your identity. Tell us about this tea dance, because it's interesting. It's got music, it's got dance.
It's got
so people take to it.
Yes. So that came about because, after reaching people, the families, we thought, wow, the society doesn't understand us. So how do we get to the society is to create something called a tea dance, because the old days we have the tea dances here, and then invite people to come and listen to our stories. When they listen to our stories, they now have the courage to ask questions. They now have the courage to say, oh, I have this and that and such symptoms. What do you think? And we were able to send people to specialists and get diagnosed. And that's the beauty of it. So it just rolls on. And then we create neuro exercises, which actually releases all the tensions, the negative emotions we talked as well. And then we have movements coming in, relaxing. The key is to have somebody really keep their balance, which is so important. And then with that, create confidence, and with the confidence, have fun, express themselves, let all those negativity come out in the dance movements.
I've seen dementia patients when music is played. Do you know how when you do anything like a tea dance or whatever, the DJ will play 10 songs and then someone will dance? It doesn't happen with dementia patients. Music starts, people dance.
Yeah.
Music is such a big part of your
Huge.
lives.
Huge.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes. And also with Dementia Co, right? Because everybody is so relaxed. We allow people to be themselves. So
Yeah.
if somebody were to walk out and just had a shout or something else, the whole group are there supporting them without interfering. So this person now feels confident and free
Yeah.
that they are not tight on, oh, don't say that, or you know. So that's the atmosphere we
it's
create.
a safe space, right?
is extreme.
Okay, so there are tea parties, meals, gardening, art and cooking sessions that you conduct, right?
I don't conduct anything.
well,
We get everybody to be
everybody.
involved, and they
Right.
come and teach me how to cook.
I see,
Oh, okay.
I see. So the group has grown, right?
Yes.
How many families are we talking about?
Oh, we've worked directly with like 300 families,
Wow.
and we've reached thousands of people through the tea dances. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And I know your daughter, Jamie Lin, is a big part of this because
Yes.
you guys, both of you, founded Dementia Co.
Right.
Tell us about the support that she's given you.
She's my greatest partner because, people watch me outside and they think, oh, gee, which is fine. Are you sure she has? But Jamie is the person who knows what happens, when it's 11 o'clock at night, I'm like crying off, or I'm getting angry for no reason, or my words are jumbled. She knows. And just that somebody knows is so important for me. And also she's there guiding me with words. We have a game on how to support me when I'm lost in many ways. We even go to the extent of when I am bedridden or cannot speak anymore. What do? We have a sign language that we already created.
Oh, okay.
So to everybody, what we say is plan for the worst, and now we can live for the best. And I feel safe that my care partner and everybody else's care partner is prepared for the journey. It's not all rosy, but when we are prepared, we can now look for what we really want to enjoy.
How does one get in touch with Dementia and Co?
You can go into our Facebook or our Instagram. It's Dementia and Co.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll find
that's
it.
We'll
yeah.
find
or
it.
just Google Alison Lim. I think that now it's out there.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Alison, is in a couple of Straits Times articles, so
Yes.
you'll find her there. You've also collaborated with international experts and organizations, right? Tell us a bit more.
Yeah, so the like so super to get connected with the person who founded or coined PPA, and then his whole team. He has center called the Muslim Center in Chicago, and they have a huge research team over there. And anybody, like even in Singapore, I connect people with in Singapore who has issues like PPA. They are able to support the person for 1.5 years through speech therapy, through
Wow.
neurologists, etc. I also have connection with UK, and we can also do the same thing when they qualify. So they can also contact us if they want to get into such a program. It's a research program, but it's extremely useful. I went through it 9 years ago. So
Wow.
Mental health is obviously a big, crucial aspect of living with dementia. What kind of coping mechanisms or support systems have been most beneficial to you in terms of maintaining this, positivity? Because you're just
like I mentioned,
bursting.
that my daughter is my key really pillar, and because we support each other, that's why we call care partners. We never use giver because she's my partner, and I still care for her. She knows that, and also activities that we do together. No instruction. We engage with each other. We do things together, and we explore things, and also learning new things all the time. My brain is like firing. Even if somebody says, "Oh, let me just learn about the plant, how it grows, or why it wither, or why does a baby scream so sharply?" Things like that. Just curiosity really helps with the brain. Yeah.
Because I've heard things like I've heard about this curiosity, and we should keep this, and in fact start it from a very young age. I've also heard that mahjong is something that should be.
Sorry, mahjong is extremely good if you play for only 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
It's a horrible game if you have to sit there for 3 hours. It's really
sedentary.
bad physically, but. Yes, and rummy is very good.
Rummy too.
Yes. Rummy actually is better because you need a lot more calculation and socializing.
Okay.
Adding. But do not ask somebody just go play. If like if your grandma, just invite grandma to come and play with me on whatever a child is playing, or whatever you like and she likes or he likes, and just go for stroll. Have conversation is so important, and not gossips. Don't keep asking, oh, what did you eat yesterday? Don't forget about it. Just have real conversation. What was your first date like, Grandma?
Okay.
Nice. Okay, we're gonna go back on air right now and talk a little bit more. 1FM 91.3 Good Times Greater says Nick Kershaw and The Riddle. Here on the Morning Drive today, we've got Alison with us here from Dementia Co. Been talking about what they do and how it all started.
Yeah, we were talking about having conversations with dementia patients, and you brought up something that clicked in my mind.
Yeah.
So, Grandma, what was your first date like?
Yes.
How important is it for caregivers to keep those memories alive?
Care partners.
Partners, not givers.
Extremely important because, I remember what I can remember. You can help me remember things, so don't force me to remember things. But when you say that, it triggers my emotion. So discussions has to go with the emotion. And when I go back to my memory, I feel the youth, I feel my happiness, or I feel my sadness, which is very important to expel. Many people hold it inside and you don't know all the traumas that they're holding. But when I get to say, oh my gosh, when he hit me that day, everything can come out.
Yeah. Question I also want to ask. I said caregiver, you said care partner. Why is there such a strong difference between the two?
Because then the caregiver, two things. One, the caregiver feels that I'm the person giving subconsciously.
Yes.
Oh, poor me,
Okay.
And the one thing people always say is, oh, they don't understand because they are in a blissful place because they don't know what's happening. So sorry.
Yeah.
I have sent many of my friends off until even when they're bedridden for 5 years, they know. Maybe you do not see it all the time, but 1 second in the 3 hours, you see that the person is there. And it's so important that you still feel the same. And also the person still care for you. My daughter, my family, I still care. And to have that knowledge that I care is extremely important. Dementia is something to do with, to me, everything is to do with emotions. So if I'm calm and I know I'm accepted, I know that you understand me, I can do wonders with myself.
Right.
So this all started because you had early onset dementia, or what we call YOD, young onset dementia, which is on the rise, right?
Yes.
For somebody who is possibly facing a diagnosis of YOD, what would you say they should do, or
the first steps?
First, check out. Officially, and then check out again because you may meet the wrong doctor, and also come to us.
Yes.
Go to contact AIC, contact Dementia Singapore, contact Dementia Co. There's so many outlets today, and I think the most important thing is contact somebody with dementia. It makes a huge difference to have somebody who understands and felt all these. And in our group, there's such a huge variety of dementia patients that they can gain so much from it. And then you lose your fear because you watch people who maybe were hiding in their home for the last 3 years, and after they meet us, they come out and it's a different person. You hear that story. You hear there is hope that there are many things you can do for yourself. And the key thing is, now I have the time. I am free.
Yeah.
What do I want to do with the time that I don't know, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? One more thing I want to mention is companies. We're trying to talk to in many companies now to explore the possibility of really making it open to all the staff that they will support the staff whatever happens.
Yes.
And it's so important with dementia because many people are hiding and they don't even go see a doctor because they are afraid. The minute the company knows about their situation, they will be fired.
Yeah.
But if a company were to be open about it, they will save so much more money in the long run, because they save the mistake that may happen. And we know of many people who has made huge mistake, lost a lot of money for themselves, and a lot of consequences for the company.
Okay, so to find out more, check out Dementia Co at their Instagram as well as their Facebook. They do regular tea dances and a whole lot of other activities that will enrich your life. Give you some purpose if you know of somebody who is diagnosed with dementia. Thank you so much, Alison. Miss
Can I also
Alison Lim.
say
Yes.
that for people who has time, please come volunteer. And our slogan is volunteer to heal yourself. Don't think that when you come and volunteer, you're a hero, you're going to save somebody's life. No, I feel that the work that we do and people who work with us, it's so not just rewarding, but through the journey, I actually heal myself. The reason why I'm able to speak like this today is because of the community that we have. So thank you very much for all the dementia members and friends out there.
Thank you so much. You've been amazing, Alison. Alison Lim from Dementia Co.
Mornings are now the best. The Flying Dutchman in Carrie Chong on the Morning Drive. Weekdays from 6 till 10. 1FM 91.5.